There's a crazy trend going on in the dating community now, if you're like in your 20s, where men and women have decided that they're going to try this new thing when it comes to dating, where they're going to meet outside of the dating apps in real life.
It's like revolutionary.
In person?
Like they're going to start meeting each other in person. Like maybe it'll happen at a bar, maybe it'll happen at a restaurant, maybe it'll happen at a church. But yeah, it's a hot trend where you start meeting people in person to spend the rest of your life with.
This is revolutionary. Has anybody ever done it before?
Everybody. Up until a couple of years ago. So the reason why I'm sharing this is Abby yesterday was telling us how frustrated she was with Hinge.
Yeah, I relapsed and I got back on the dating apps for a full hour. And somehow within that full hour, I found some of the worst men in the Atlanta metropolitan area, which we didn't even get to some of the worst prompts yesterday. I'm telling you, I don't know what happened between now and when I deleted the apps 3 months ago, but somehow the profiles are more chaotic. And you told me about this beautiful story of these two people crossing paths and getting married 19 days later. So
right.
For them.
Yeah, I messed up that story. This wasn't a friend of mine. This was a friend of Amanda's. And Amanda had just told me about this story last week. And I was trying to relay it to you and to anybody else that's listening in their 20s going, hey, the universe puts you in the right place at the right time. You just have to be open to it. This is me. We're going to play a clip of me telling you the story yesterday. Just know that we have the person on the line that I was talking about, and I got the story wrong.
So we get to hear you get the story wrong again.
Yes.
And then we're going to get the actual story from the source.
Yes. Okay, so This was yesterday. So Amanda was just telling me it's a friend or a friend of a friend that years and years and years ago, we're going back 40 years or something like that. They are in New York City and pass each other on the street. He notices her, she notices him. About 4 blocks later, they notice each other again in the same New York City street. And at this point, he goes, that's too much. I got to say hey. So he says hey. 19 days later, they were married. Still married. I got some of that wrong.
Some of it or all of it?
A lot of the details were wrong. However, it's a better story than what I told you guys. I accidentally downplayed it, not knowing all the details. So Amanda's like, hits me up as I'm telling the story, and she's like, you're not even close. So here's the phone number to my friend Lisa, and she could tell us the story herself. And it's a really beautiful story. Hey, Lisa.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm so good. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, so I tried to relay this amazing story between you and your husband now, but I messed up some of the details. So can you tell it? Because it's a fantastic story.
Absolutely. You got the gist, so that was good.
Okay.
Okay, so it was in 1994, and my husband and I did not know each other. We both lived in New York City. We were both walking on the street one afternoon and coming from opposite sides of the street, and we passed each other on the street and caught each other's eye, and we were like, just that at the end of the street, we both looked back. And then later on that night at midnight, I was coming home from a date and walked in my building on 19th Street. And I was in my building opening up my front door, and in walked the guy that I saw on the street that day. And I was like, oh my God, there's that guy, except for I had a date standing there with me. He passed behind me while the date's standing next to me. And I turned around and I said, hey, didn't I meet you today? And I hadn't met him at all. And he's like, hey, I'm Tom. I live in 4D. I was like, oh my God, you live in my building. What? Well, turns out he had lived in my building. I had been there a year. He had been there 4 years. In a whole year, never saw him once. But I couldn't talk to him because my date was still standing there. So then over the next 4 days, we ran into each other 4 different places around the city, randomly, like at the gym, just wherever. And then on the 4th day, he finally asked me out. And that night, we just walked around the city for about 6 hours. And about 20 minutes into our date, we were like, wait, something's happening. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. It was the weirdest thing. And about 6 hours into our date, we decided to get married.
Shut up.
6 hours?
That's
6
crazy.
Hours.
What?
Because we had gone to a little pub that night, and we had a drink, and about 20 minutes in, both of us that were like, you know what, let's not drink. I don't know why. Something's going on. It just was the most magical thing. And we talked, and it was crazy. It was it was like a deja vu that you have. It was like this weird feeling of a deja vu, like you knew this person, but you've never met before. You know, we both felt like there was like an aura around each other, that it was like God saying, don't miss this. He's the one. Don't miss this. He's the one. And I never had that feeling in my whole life. And anyway, so we decided to get married, and 25 days after that date, we decided to elope and not tell anyone.
All right. So first, just so I'm doing the math
Yeah,
right.
her story's way better than yours.
So much better, man.
All right. So you guys are on that date 6 hours. Now, who brings up the idea of marriage in that 6 hours?
You know, it's so funny because neither one of us really remembers who brought it up. We just know that the next day we went out to eat that night. I can remember going out to eat and looking at his Filofax day planner, and we were looking at dates to get married.
Dang.
That's wild.
And then it's how many days until you guys actually get married?
25 days.
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And
We were laying out in Central Park on a Wednesday afternoon, and we were like, because at first we were going to wait a whole year, have a traditional wedding, and then we were laying out, we were like, you know what? Let's get married Friday and not tell anyone. So the next day, we went and got rings, went down to City Hall, got our marriage license, and got married at City Hall in New York City.
Now, Lisa, I love this story so much, and
what are you gonna do?
No.
What are you gonna do?
I just want some. I just want some honesty, and so you guys get married 25 days later.
Mm-hmm.
What was that first year like? Because you're literally getting to know somebody for the first time. Because you guys have known each other for less than a month, and you got married. Was that first year
Right.
easy, or was that first year hard?
Well, it was easy and hard. It was hard because we got pregnant 4 months later.
No, we're not messing
wasting
around.
no time. We got work
Y'all
to do.
playing on fast forward.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you don't know each other, the best part about that is you don't have a past. So everything is a first. And because we went into our marriage that way, we felt like it was such a precious gift. Like, honestly, the most precious gift, that why would we ever do anything to ruin that? Like, literally, why would you do anything? And so, you know, you go in with the mindset of, we're married. So the little things don't matter the way they do when you're dating, because you know where you stand. I think when you're dating, you don't know where you stand, so that's where a lot of the arguments come from. But when you're married, you just trust. So those little arguments aren't even there because they're just not important. And so it's funny, if you go into life that way, there's an ease that just makes you see things differently.
Yes.
And we just have led our whole marriage that way.
And so, how many years married?
31 years on Tuesday.
Come on.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Anniversary.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
This might be the perfect way to close this if you will allow me to do it, or if you have access to it. I really wanted to end this, if you'll allow me, or I think it's better if you read it. Do you have the words that he wrote to you in your anniversary card? I think that's what it was for. Maybe it was your birthday.
Yeah, it was from our vows last year on our 30th anniversary. All I wanted was for us both to write love letters to each other, and we got up at sunrise. We were in Mexico, and we just read love letters to each other. So I actually do have that. I have a little blurb from what he wrote.
Yeah. Read that one. This is real good.
Okay, he wrote to me, I've chosen you for 30 years and will continue to choose you until my last breath. You have and will forever be my promise, my healer, my helper, my muse, my inspiration, my attraction, my craving, my admiration, my travel partner, my intention, my yearning, my smile, my solace, my value, my substance, my every breath.
Damn.
Wow.
Ooh, man. I'm ready to choose love.
That's beautiful.
It is stunning.
So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're so welcome.
What did you write, Lisa? Love you, babe.
Retweet.
Hopefully it was sweeter than that. I don't have it on me right now.
It was beautiful. Beautiful words.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the universe just putting them together, man, until it's like, I have to recognize this.
Yeah.
It's a great story.
4 times it's like God was up there like, when are y'all going to figure it out?
What are you waiting
Like,
on?
what else do I have to do?
He's like, my Sims aren't listening to me.
Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate you.
You're so welcome.
Bye now.
Thank you guys.
The Bert Show.